Yeah, but you spent way too much money on a phone.
It's an Apple phone. Everyone has a goddamn Apple phone. They give it to you at the store.
You can't say words like that. We're live.
No,
you can't say phone?
Yeah. Look, see that button there?
Yeah.
That means we're live.
Oh, shit.
It's on your channel. I don't care.
All right. Welcome, traders. Everything's late. Nobody dies. Episode number 42.
Lucky 42.
Howard Chicken's in the ass. But I like him. He's my type of ass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, whatever type gets to you.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hi.
So apparently we're going to talk about
Howard Chicken's house.
No. Once was enough.
So yeah, we have a special guest today. Kat, do you want to say hi?
Hey.
Hey, there we go. We have another special guest.
Hello.
Yeah, it's good.
celebrities.
Celebrity guest, Bueller. Comics with Bueller.
That's right.
Don't be nervous. You're on the internet. It should be fine.
I think I can handle it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Your webs have been entered.
Oh God. Yes.
Yeah.
Right on.
Beautiful.
Okay. So what are we
going
doing?
to talk about?
Yeah.
You're asking me?
I don't know.
I got some
just throwing it
questions.
out there. We got cool book.
Yeah.
Flag. Quarter bin book.
Only one in there. There's like 100 copies of Stormwatch 2, but only one of these.
Oh, you should see how many Stormwatch 3s are in there.
Oh, really? I didn't get to that box.
Oh, Turok though.
Yeah, he said he bought a bunch of those. Was it from here or from somewhere
No,
else?
it's from somewhere.
Yeah, you can't.
Because Greg doesn't have that many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, not now.
Turok number 1.
Yeah, no, I only have a couple dozen now.
I got
John
150.
Stout's there. That's Little John.
John Stout.
Little John.
Well, when you call him John Stout, I know who John Stout is.
No, John Stout's like 4'7".
I don't know if he should be putting up with that.
He better, because that's
Cabin's in the house.
That's my buddy.
He's 4'7.5".
I took him to the lake.
Joe Fox. How we get Joe Fox? How is he even awake? This gentleman lives in Japan. I don't know how he's even
They're
awake.
a day
right now.
ahead. It's this time tomorrow over there.
I don't think it's 24 hours.
It's August 7th there. 4 o'clock in the morning, August 7th.
Captain Comics.
Crazy.
He's
Comics.
from
15 hours.
the motorcycle place.
How did you guys get? It's easy to get Bueller.
Yeah, they gave me a candy bar.
A candy bar. You put it outside the door of the bus, and when he comes out, you just snag him.
It's tough to get rid of him though. He's been living under my porch eating apples for months.
That was me, Colin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though you're older, I think he's older. I don't know.
All right, so for those of you who don't, everybody knows who Bueller is, so we're not even going to go down that road because everybody knows that you're a homeless man traveling the country.
That's YouTube pays.
There you go.
He's on the road.
After 5 years, I'm now homeless. So keep on doing it, kids.
Yeah. Well, we got all these stacks of free comic day stuff here. We can just build a little guest house.
There you go. I sleep on boxes of comics.
Yeah, I think we all do. Oh man! So what's our topic? What's our topic today?
We really need to be more disciplined about coming up with topics. Because and it doesn't help because I tried topics. You put a camera on Greg and it's all over the place.
Well, yeah, that's true. So I had to shut down my OnlyFans channel.
Nice.
OnlyFans.
Do you guys need me to take over or something? Is that it?
I don't know.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 155 of Comics on Comics. This is where we're such great books.
How many?
We're drinking a bunch of coffee.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what we thought about this week.
We don't typically have coffee here.
Oh, yeah, we don't have any coffee. They gave me a Coke on the way here, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But no coffee.
I'm sorry.
So I'm all wired up on Coke.
I'm all jacked up on Coke.
Coke. There we go.
That's
possible. Why don't we talk about cover artists? I would like to hear what you guys think about cover artists.
Okay.
I
just got a chance to meet a really good cover artist actually a couple weeks ago at MediaCon.
Yeah, who's that?
First time. Simone de...
Oh, Bianchi,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I did a panel with him. I was
awesome.
his host. And
God, he's so good.
He is incredible. He gave me his art book and stuff and signed it for me. And he's a big rock and roll guy as well. Mm-hmm. He's into music and stuff. Yeah. He does a bunch of album art and stuff and posters. I think he did something for Tool. And he's done a lot of stuff. But, man, he is just amazing. When I went and looked through his, when I was doing some research on him and stuff, I was like, oh, that's him? Because I've seen his covers before. He's been with Marvel now for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. And, man, his cover art is just, it's paintings.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
I've got a Gickley, that's a signed Gickley in my basement from he did. It's a Detective Comics cover.
Yeah.
God, it's good. Yeah.
He's pretty much exclusive just doing covers.
Yeah.
And I know a friend of mine might be having some of his covers coming their way. So I can't tell you who it is.
Oh, man.
But
they. Cool. I was very rapidly and enthusiastically told how to say his name when I ran into one of those people at a convention. I said, "Is Simone here?" And he said,
Simone Bianchi.
Simone.
Is he Italian?
Like, okay, Jesus.
Yeah, he's Italian.
Very. Yeah.
I listened to his name over and over and over for about 15 minutes before I did the thing.
Yeah.
And I figured as long as I get his name right for the panel, I'm good. So I said, okay, everyone, we'll get the hardest part away first. Simone Bianchi. That was it. Okay, we're good. That's it. Let's go. We got an hour to kill. I only said his name once at the beginning and once at the end. That was
it. Well, 2 for 2.
Yeah.
No, I think he is an amazing cover artist, but he's also an amazing interior artist because when he did those Wolverine books, even though Jeff Loeb was writing them, those were so good. that sounded really rude. Those were so good.
His Wolverine is
those interiors awesome. Are insane, and that and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up is what is your opinion on if there's a great cover artist that used to do great interiors, I'd almost rather he not do covers and just do interiors,
stay on
again,
interiors
because they're so good, or do both like he did with Wolverine.
Yeah, but the interiors, I mean. You can make as much on a cover, especially if you're doing like a cover for Torpedo or 616 or something. You make that kind of money doing a cover. So you're only drawing one picture as opposed to an entire book.
Yeah,
I mean you'll make more on the cover.
Yeah,
I mean if I was in that position, we've talked about this before. I don't think there's any such thing as selling out. There is making money using your talent. That and then making more money using your talent less seems like a success to me. You know what I mean? But I would do the same thing. But I wish that some of these artists would be more like, yeah, man. You know what I love? The paycheck's great, but I love comics.
Sure,
right.
I want to keep doing comics. And do interiors and draw battles and do whatever.
Well, some cover artists, to be fair, they don't know how to draw interior.
That's true.
There's a large selection of people who are just doing covers.
Yeah.
That if you said, "Hey, can you do the interior artwork?" they couldn't really do it. They don't know. Doing interior artwork is telling a story.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big difference between a cover. A cover is like, "Hey, there's the
movie poster.
They're in the book." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Selling the book. Okay.
Yeah.
The interior is telling the story, and there's a lot of artists that don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Now, when you get the ones that can do both. Those are the ones that are in high demand, a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these companies, they don't ask the people to do the cover. They
Right.
say, "Hey, you're the interior. We'll get someone else to do the cover." So it doesn't come up very often.
Well,
right?
a perfect example of that is Momoko. So Hive discovers Momoko, and they saw the artwork, and James was like, "Oh yeah, I've got to get her." And she was hired to be a cover artist. She was doing like anime-ish type stuff and odds and ends before that, but she was hired specifically to be a cover artist. And then Tom picked her up, and Tom brought her in to do specifically cover art. And so she's never been an interior artist, and I think that's kind of the flip side of this store exclusive thing is they're bringing a bunch of artists in that do nothing but cover art. So we're losing all those interior artists, those storyteller artists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think, I'm a fan of a good number of her covers, not all of them by any stretch of the imagination. I think there's some, kind of like quick, like, hey, look, I did 14 covers this week. They're all sketches and somebody else, and then whatever, I mean, and that I don't like, but I like her more detailed stuff. And I like so many of those covers, but those interiors don't do it for me. Her interiors do not do it.
I've never been a particular fan of her artwork as a comic book. I think that her artwork is not presented well in this form, in this small little frame. I think her artwork, all the stuff that she does, should be on the canvas, a little bit bigger, like a something in your living room on the wall, painting or something. Like that. I don't think her artwork translates good to a comic book that's 11 by 7 or whatnot.
That's how you feel about Alex Ross.
That's how I feel about Alex Ross. Yeah, for sure.
But I've seen a lot of their covers. I was like, you know what? It just doesn't do it for me. But if it was bigger on display, it looks more like an art piece than and that's. I think you guys know what I'm saying. There's two different. There's comic book art and then there's regular art.
Right.
Yeah.
And artists can do both, but hers mainly kind of looks like artwork.
Well, and she is so.
Sure.
It gets lost now, but she's so very stylized.
Yeah.
Like she's in that Oriental kind of horror, late 60s, early 70s horror style with a lot of her stuff.
Oh, horror. That sounded really bad when you used it.
You need to enunciate.
Me love you a long time.
You need to pronunciate. Whatever.
Peach is doing interior for Darth Vader, black, white, and red. I was not aware of that.
That comes out next week.
I think that's a good subject for her. That's a really good subject for her.
I mean, Star Wars is basically like a Western or samurai ripoff anyway.
And she does her best work with like kind of the horror. I don't know if she'd do any really good with the body horror, but with true horror and vampires and zombies.
And you know what she'd be good? You know what I think she'd be good at? Something is Killing the Children.
She would be fantastic.
I think she'd be really good with that because, it already has a sort of, I want to say Western anime flavor almost, to the art. I think she would kill it with something that Tinian was doing that's like that.
Right.
Where it's not, and it's sort of like, I'm not sure if I'm looking at the real world or not.
Right.
That kind of stuff. I think you're right. I think she'd be really good at that.
West of Sundown should be awesome on that.
Yeah, she'd be probably pretty good at that too.
Did you see the book Siren's Gate?
Yeah.
Okay. So Shannon Meir did that book. Mm-hmm. It's the first book I think he's done the interiors for, and he's always wanted to do interiors for a long. Did you look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about his? To me, every page looked like a cover, and because he's known for just doing covers, and when I read the book read strange.
I didn't read it, but it did. Now that you mention it, it did look like every panel is a splash page.
Yeah, and it was just a little. I talked to him about it. I said, I liked it after I got it, but it wasn't my normal comic book. It just, you could tell that this is a cover artist doing interior artwork that all looked like the cover.
Yeah.
And it was just I enjoyed it and I didn't. It just kind of took me out of the comic, but I still liked the comic and stuff. So did you see that one?
Yeah. It's that Dynamite one. It's a rare Dynamite one because it only has like 7 covers. Actually, I think it only has.
Shannon Meir is your main cover artist,
right?
You don't need to get a lot of other covers for it.
No, I think it just had like a cover A and an incentive is all.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, I think is refreshing. I've been I haven't picked up a Dynamite book since.
I know.
Well, you really should pick up Dynamite books because they're great books. Dynamite's
they
awesome.
are. Dynamite is awesome.
Yeah,
they have one serious dog, and I have not picked up a Dynamite book since.
And don't forget Black Box comics either; they're pretty good as well.
Black Box has good stuff.
Ninja Gaiden, Dream Master number 5 comes out eventually.
Dream Warriors.
Oh, that's not true. I'm reading
Dream Child, Freddy's Dead.
Yeah,
Freddy vs. Jason. They're all great.
There you go.
I see what you mean with the cover artist doing interiors and being awkward.
Yeah.
But the same thing can happen. I mean, I think that. Let me say, I think Peach Momoko would be great if Peach Momoko did Marvel posters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bigger format.
So cool. Maybe she could do the, exclusive covers on like the oversized hardcovers.
Yeah.
Right. Do those covers. Do posters. I think that would be really cool because I think she could take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Put a little more detail into it. And blowing that up, I think would look fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you blow David Mack's stuff up. I have my problems with his art occasionally, but when you blow that up, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like it looks really cool.
Sure.
You know,
it's a painting.
It's a painting. It's and then you've got the other side of that, which, you know, I do, you know, no matter what, I do like Clayton Crane's art. You know, I think for that X-Force series, it was absolutely spot on perfect.
Yeah.
But you blow his stuff up, make a poster out of it, and it looks awful.
Yeah.
And they did that over and over for probably a good year and a half. Marvel did.
The posters.
Yeah, like the X-Force posters, and then, you know, like you know, a whatever poster, and those things blown up look like crap because they're so like pixelated,
Right?
They're blurry, and like, why can you not get, if you're gonna do that, make it more high res? It just looks, it's weird.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about, like, it's coming to mind, like about a year and a half ago, Thing had his little limited run, 5-issue run, and some of the covers were really cool, and the interior artwork was just awful. I'm talking like it looked like a child drew this book, but the interior, or the covers looked awesome. There was one where like he's peeling the rocks off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Who did the interiors for that?
I don't know, but I wouldn't take credit for it. To be honest, I remember looking like, what is this? It looked like a kid's book.
Oh man.
It looked like a kid's book.
Hey, producer, can you look up who did the Thing covers or interiors?
Yeah.
Don't look up the Thing without having safe search.
Well, that's
that's not a good idea.
Marvel's Thing.
Marvel's Thing.
Yeah.
Marvelous Thing.
MarvelousThing.com.
But that can be a little misleading when you see a cover. You're like, oh, that's pretty cool, especially with someone new walking into your shop.
Right, yeah.
They see a cover, oh man, look how cool that book looks, and they open the book and like, this looks nothing like what sold me.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
cover.
And that's the problem I had. That's the biggest problem I had with John Carter, because Dynamite has just spectacular covers. Like every cover they do is Dynamite.
Yeah.
And then you open up that book and it looks like Miss Marshall's third grade class got their crayons out and drew a comic book.
What do you have against Miss Marshall? You said that so many times. What did she do to you?
She traumatized me.
He
Okay,
said
let's
something
stop.
to me-
Let's move on.
You said something to me about that earlier yesterday.
Miss Marshall was my third grade teacher.
Oh, community standards. Okay, moving on.
And she was a fantastic third grade teacher.
I
I
think,
love Miss Marshall.
as far as cover is concerned, I think it's a great idea to have, you know, cover artists, but I really, really think that those covers should be similar to what's inside.
Yeah.
They should be more representative. If you got a John Cassidy cover, it should be Steve McNiven or, you know, something like that. More,
Right.
you know,
Especially
whatever.
Especially your A or B cover.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And
Variance is a whole nother story.
variance is a different story. Okay.
Yeah, but your main cover, your B cover, you know, because DC was famous for just having an A and B cover for about 2 years. Now
Mhm.
they've gone off the
Oh
deep
my
end.
God.
But
Off the
they're-
rails.
Yeah, now it's but when they were just doing the A and B cover,
Mhm.
it was easy. It's like, and one of those was usually normally the interior artist. Is what I
Yeah,
find
and it
out
was
today.
very representative of what was in the book.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that. And if you're going to have, you know, Peach Momoko do a cover, or David Mack do a cover, make it for a David Mack interior, or a Peach Momoko. Make it into something that actually resembles what the cover is. And if
Right.
you want to go, you know, nuts on the stuff, fine. But let's have it closer to what's inside.
Well, so back in the day, and I look at comic books as an art form, like these interiors, the stuff that we were getting in the Silver Age, Golden Age. It's an art form, and then when you deviate from that and start doing even Davey Mack, who I absolutely love his work, when you see that on an interior, it just doesn't fit that storyteller form.
Poor David.
And for me,
I think it does for Kabuki, for his book.
and it
you know,
it looked
Elektra,
really
it's
good.
pretty
and
good.
Elektra, Daredevil, the Jessica Jones stuff.
Yeah. You know, I mean that's you know, that fits, and because he has got that almost Asian fine art style.
Yeah.
You know, even though I think he's white, as any of us are. I don't understand that, but whatever.
He wears
He's-
kind of tight shirts too.
Oh God, yes, he does.
John Stout loves variant covers.
He's he buys every single Batman comic that comes out. And all the variants.
So
Every
now would be a
variant.
good time to talk about our hold system.
Well, he is in Portland.
I can ship.
So he's a ways away.
There's no comic shops in Portland. None. The comic community there is tiny.
There's David Mack was doing the Spawn books.
Oh yeah.
And he did the one for Gunslinger. Okay. I kid you not. There is a variant version of Shinukage, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same cover.
Yeah.
And he did that one. It's the same pose. It's the same.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you kind of squinted, you wouldn't know either one from the other.
Yeah, and 100%.
Yeah, it was interesting. I found that because I had it in my collection. I was like, dude, this looks exactly the same.
He does a lot of cut and paste.
Yeah.
A lot of cut and paste, which I don't love, but whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love variant covers. And the cosplay cover.
Oh, cosplay. Yeah, he just likes naked ladies.
I like the cosplay covers.
Speaking of the naked ladies, what YouTube stuff do you watch? The 20-year-old van lifers?
20, 21-year-old van lifers.
The ladies?
On my TikTok.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
That's why there's two of them parked out in front of the store.
Damn it, my wife watches those.
She's watching Travis.
What is it saying about Comic-Con Orlando? What? Comic-Con? I can't see anything. I'm old. 48 tables.
I have a topic for you. Osaka, which is in Japan.
Oh God, that's so not Orlando.
Close.
Osaka Comic-Con has 48 tables set up for artists. 2 weeks left, and no announcement on which artists there will be. That's not good, is it?
Probably not.
That's so not
Probably
good.
not. I mean,
there's a lot of empty tables. What that means.
Man, Thanks, formerly Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I've been told it's Fan X.
Fan.
Not Thanks.
Fan
Okay.
X.
Yeah. So, which is also like somebody else's
Fan Expo.
Fan Expo. It's also somebody else's.
Yeah, once I'll be in Fan Expo in Dallas. I'll be on stage. I'll see you there.
All right. Yeah.
I'm one of their new hosts.
I just wanted to bring that up to promote him being no. That's one of the big problems with the pop culture con here in Salt Lake. Be very careful what I call it. Is they do this. Hey man, you know what? Buy your tickets super early and you'll get a great deal. We have 7 novelists from Provo that are going to be here. We've got a couple of comic creators from Murray. It's going to be really great. And we have an actor that was in Harry Potter. And then, they'll just slowly leak out these little announcements like, 3 weeks before, guess who's coming? And it's like, just tell me who's going to be there, man.
Right.
Just tell me. I don't like this little leak. Everybody, 4 or 5 months later, please welcome so-and-so in 6 weeks. And it's like, just tell me who's going to be there. And because when I'm looking at Comic-Cons and I want to know where to go, a lot of what I'm looking at is guests. And, if I'm going to travel somewhere and I don't know that there's going to be somebody there that I want to see.
Are you looking at comic guests or celebrity guests?
Comic guests.
Yeah. Well, for a Comic-Con.
Well, I mean, it's, it's a lot of these Fan X's or Expos or whatnot.
Yeah.
They don't cater to comic book collectors. That's not who their audience is now. Their audience is the cosplayer anime group and just the local family that wants to go out for the weekend and do something.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
20% or 15% of the audience is actually there for comics.
Yeah.
That's why you can literally go to a Comic-Con and there's more comics in your shop than the last Comic-Con that was in Portland. Just so you know. And that was a Fan Expo Portland.
Rose City? Oh, Fan Expo?
No, Rose City does.
Rose City's a comic.
Rose City does comics.
The ones that have a history. Emerald City, Rose City.
Baltimore is very comic.
Yeah, New York, Chicago, MegaCon. Those have a history of having comics, having exclusives, and they make sure they have that base cover, but they also have a huge Hollywood presence.
They do.
Yeah.
But now the other cons, especially the traveling con circuit, they have just now gone to, we're just going to book the Hollywood guys.
They've all turned into Wizard World.
Yeah, that's what it is. And that's what Fan Expo bought, Wizard World.
Yeah.
And they just didn't change the name of some of the cons like MegaCon. It is owned by Fan Expo, but MegaCon is such a name, they didn't want to change it.
Sure. Well, you just got back from MegaCon.
which is awesome, by the way.
And how well were comics represented there?
They're good. They're good. Like I said, like I said, they didn't change the name of that one. It's established. It's been there. It's known as the Comic-Con that kind of kicks off the season.
Right.
And so you get all the retailers there. You get all the exclusives there. Yeah. And it's in a big enough venue to where you get all the Hollywood stuff as well. But you still get all the comic people. And there's a lot of money spent. And it caters to the population. And if they can pull 300,000 people in there, they're going to try to, have something for everybody.
Sure.
But these smaller con circuits that only pull in maybe a quarter of that, the thing that grabs the most attention, oh man, Luke Skywalker's coming. I'm just throwing it out there.
Right.
But that's what's his name? William Shatner's coming.
Oh, there goes your bus.
There you go. Say hi. But William Shatner.
Well, not your bus. Sorry. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. But William Shatner makes the news. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Claremont doesn't make the news.
Yeah.
Chris Claremont is not on your local news station. Yeah, come down to the con. But if William Shatner is there, he's on the news, and they're going to go, oh, yeah, William Shatner, come see him and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like the biggest Trekkie you'll ever find. I would walk past Bill Shatner to talk to Chris Claremont.
Yeah. Chris Claremont, how you doing?
Chris Claremont.
Interesting guy.
Yeah.
There goes the bus again.
God, that got awkward, didn't it?
It went back that way.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Comic-Cons, it's like they don't think that Comic-Cons will bring people in, that there's no money. They want to be a Comic-Con just because they want the people from the MCU, the actors from the MCU there.
Yeah.
That they want that, which is fine. If you want to be a Hollywood convention, be a Hollywood convention. But there's a population that reads comics, that loves comics, that lives comics.
Mm-hmm.
And we do here, they didn't do it last year, but they have the Wasatch Comic-Con here.
Yeah.
And that's straight comics. There's no celebrities there. It's all comics writers, creators. And then Eastman was here last time.
Sure.
Like they had a hell of a turnout. They don't lose money. They don't make as much money as FanX does, but they don't lose money on it.
Well, here's the thing. So MegaCon, there's no way MegaCon could just do comics.
No.
You could not fill up that venue and just be a comic-oriented thing.
No.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. And it's kind of like, and I'm going to use your shop as an example. I've been going to different shops, on this road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the shops, besides yours, the comics are just a section of a wider variety of stuff in the shop that appeals to more people.
Yeah.
You, my friend, have a comic shop. This is a pure comic shop. You got books in the middle. You got a little bit of toys, graphic novels. There's none of the other stuff that I ran into at these other shops, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
But they do that because they have to appeal to a bigger audience. It's the same thing for a Comic-Con. They have to have all this other stuff to appeal to a bigger audience, especially if they're only doing it for a weekend.
Yeah.
You want to get as many people in there as fast as you can and really quickly, and you have to appeal to as many as you can, not just the hardcore people. You were talking about the other Comic-Con with just comics. It's probably not a huge venue.
Oh, no, it's in the mall.
Yeah, it's in the mall. There you go. So it's a very small space and stuff like that. All dealers, they do card shows like that and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all based on that. But when you're appealing to a mass market, when you're selling tickets for $200 and family tickets and then all this other stuff, you got to have all the bells and whistles you can get.
If you're putting $5 million into this thing, you got to get big names to bring $6 million back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that is, it is a lot the same with shops too.
Yeah.
When I opened up, I had people that, they still shop here, but they would come in and I'd say, oh yeah, I'm going to have a hold system and this is how we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And then they would come back, 6-7 months later.
Sure.
And they'd be like, okay, well, I guess I want to open a hold. I'm like, well, why didn't you open one 6 months ago? And they just flat out, people would just say, oh, I didn't think you'd be here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you for your confidence in my abilities.
19 years later.
Right. 19 years later. Yeah, man.
I'm not sure I'm going to be here next month.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yes. God, just full circle. Right. Yeah. But, people would say that. They'd be like, well, you have to have magic tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to do D&D.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't. If I do that, I'm going to go broke because I don't know anything about it. And they're like, well, hire somebody to do it full time. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a tiny shop that just opened up and I'll hire a game manager full time, which is going to make more money than I'm making right now. So no thanks.
So I mean, kind of the pivot, and I was going to ask you this question. And that's kind of why I brought that up. Is going to all these shops and seeing these shops that have a variety of different products, and then coming to yours and seeing the nice pure comic shop, which I prefer. You've been here for a while. How are you? I mean, you don't have to get the specifics, but how are you able to sustain this without dipping into that other stuff that all these other shops have had to do? You are a rarity. You're aware of this, okay? But yet your door opens every day.
Yeah.
How are you able to? Is this a viable business model? I mean, eventually, are you going to have to, or are you able to sustain?
No, I'm going to do this till I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm going to do comics till I'm done. The big thing is I don't pay my employees for shit. No,
I'll scare you.
There's a lot of things that are really important to me. Number one, and Eric talks about this all the time, the variety of the books that I carry.
Sure.
There's a lot of stores that will go through, these stores that you're talking about that are mainly gaming stores. They'll go through, a sales chart and order the top 50 books, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'll go through previews over and over and over again.
Sure.
Now I'll look through previews and go, oh, that looks cool. And I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Hell, sometimes on the weekend, I'll bring a previews home and pour myself a drink and sit there and just look through previews.
Yeah.
So I'm able to get more of that stuff in.
Sure.
I know about comics. That's what I know. I'm a guy that reads comics. I live and breathe this crap.
Yeah.
And bleed for it, literally, so I have a passion for it, and that passion I think will come through to people when I'm talking to them, plus I'm here every day.
Yeah.
So I'm able to gauge what, no pun intended, that's my last name. Anyway, I'm able to really gauge the response that I think people are going to have to certain books.
Sure.
I've got a guy that has had a hold for a couple years now, and he'll come in and be like, oh, cool, you put this in. Awesome. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
I got a guy that reads most of the stuff that Colin Bunn writes.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes out, and I'm able to find those smaller books through the smaller publishers that Colin will do. Throw them in his hold. He's so happy to get them, and I think a lot of that is like a personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
It's, a passion that I have. And really, there's so many people that, like you, that just prefer a comic store.
Yeah.
Because they don't really exist anymore.
Yeah. I don't need the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
I don't need all that extra stuff.
Right.
Especially like you said, I don't know that stuff. I don't know
anything about it.
So it doesn't appeal.
That is a really easy way for me to go broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like your bag stock, do you price to sell your books? You understand what I'm saying? Price to sell as opposed to like, oh man, this is what it is going for. And so I'm going to put it at that price and it's just going to sit there because that's the price everywhere. Or do you price to sell the book?
I don't believe in market value.
Okay.
Because
I always price my books to sell them. I didn't care what they were going for. I wanted to move them. They don't do them any good sitting there for the same price as the store down the street or the eBay auction or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if it's lower, it's priced to sell. Right. And I would sell all my books because they were at that price point.
Yeah. Well, it's like this. Like it's American Flag. It's like a $10 book.
Yeah.
There it is, quarter.
Chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I like Howard Chaykin's work. I like Howard. The one time I met him, it was interrupted by a fire alarm because somebody was smoking weed by a fire. Anyway, I like him. I've nothing against that book.
Sure.
It's just there's not enough people that are going to come in, look at that and buy it for $10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's plenty of books in the quarter box of creators that I like, books that I like, art writing that I like. But they got to get out of here.
Sure.
I do go by Overstreet, and that is partly it's just easier for me because I can look at this and go, this is what it's priced at.
Yeah.
And it's easier for everybody else because it's always priced. It's got what I consider a real price there.
Yeah.
if I did it with market price, and we talked about this a few episodes ago, and I would have somebody come up and say, "Oh, okay, I would like to buy this book that came out this week," and I'd be, "Okay, hold on one second.
You have to look it up.
Okay, that will be $14.99," and they're like, "But it says $3.99."
Yeah.
They say, "Well, but it's going for $14.99."
Yeah, exactly.
That first off, that's not fair. I think that's pretty underhanded.
Yeah.
That's not the value of a book. Now, do I agree with all the values in Overstreet? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I do not. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to price it at that, and I give 10% off all of those.
Sure.
So yeah, I want to move them. I'm not. I always say I'm not running a museum. I'm running a retail store.
Yeah.
This stuff in here, I have an attachment to my store.
Sure.
I have an attachment to how it looks. All this kind of stuff. I am not attached to any comic book in here.
Yeah.
Every single one I want gone.
Yeah.
The comic books I'm attached to are at home. That's my personal collection. That's my stuff. And I have to just back, that barrier there, because otherwise I'm not going to sell anything, and I'm going to have two really big collections, and my wife is going to leave me. Yeah. That's just how that goes.
Yeah. My wife.
Yeah, well, John says Travis's mom liked Howard too.
Oh no.
She was flattered.
That's
She was definitely flattered. She had a lot of attention that weekend.
Howard shaking and baking.
Yeah.
That's why Travis is getting her own copy of American Flag.
That's exactly it.
It's got a guy on there that looked a little bit like him at that point in time, actually. Yeah.
He's gonna run down now.
Yeah, there are. I mean, and I do the resale thing. I flip books on eBay or whatever on Facebook, and I'm always buying books in here, taking them home, listing them on eBay, and doubling, tripling my money.
Yeah. And then
Are you serious? Which ones?
And then sharing a little bit.
Whoa.
You're sharing a little bit with him, right?
Well, I share it when I come back and buy more books.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a different situation for you. You don't have a shop.
Yeah.
You don't have people online. You don't have people coming to your house and going through boxes and going, okay, well, I'd like this here. What cards do you take? You don't have a retail store. So market value is the real value for you.
Yeah.
Because you are a reseller. You are, a flipper, a reseller, an investor, whatever the hell you want to call it. But that works for you. I don't think it would work here in an actual retail store. You want to move things.
You're dealing with, a stacks of boxes three deep on every table.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. The goal is to limit one of those stacks,
right?
And then get rid of the other stack. But like you said, you're not attached to what's here.
Yeah.
The only attachment you have is when they walk out the door. Like I want them to walk out the door. That's my attachment. They want to walk out the door.
Absolutely. But I do think it's very important when you have a comic shop that you price every single book. And that's one thing I like about the way Greg does this. Nerd Store, Dr. Volt.
Even price the 25-cent books.
But every book,
give me a break.
Every book.
It's awesome.
There's a reason for that.
And once it's priced, that's the price. If that book next week becomes worth twice as much, you're still paying whatever was priced when that original tag went on it.
Well, when you priced it, you marked it at a profit margin where you were acceptable in making.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if it goes up or down. At the time, you're like, I paid this much for it. I'm going to make this much margin on it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And that's the way you run business.
Well, I mean, you sell 1,000 books and make $1 a piece. Yeah. That's $1,000.
Yeah.
But if you're tripling the price on them, you might sell 100 of them for $3 a piece. That's $300. That ain't as good.
Yeah.
Right.
And people ain't going to come back. I mean, we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, the microtransaction situation, where everything's a microtransaction, and you download Candy Crush and it's like, okay, fine, I'll pay 99 cents to play for another 20 minutes or, okay, this, whatever it is. It's always little tiny microtransactions now, but I've always felt like the comic book retail business is a business of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Yes, I get, I get my guys in here that are, guy was in here yesterday when I was in the meeting. He calls himself my whale. He's like, okay, man, you know what, and he comes in every single week, comes in with cash, and he says, "Hey, your whale's here." I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" and he loves it, and he loves it.
If you're watching, man, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
Hopefully, having a good day.
How you doing? What's up, Richard? And it's like, you've got that, right, but that is an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And most of the people that have holds, 10 to 15 books a week, maybe, probably average about 10.
Yeah.
There are people that are like, I want all the X-Men, I want all this, and I want all the variants, and I want all the Batmans.
You're dealing with a product that costs $3.99.
Exactly.
And you're only making a couple bucks, maybe $2 at the most on a book.
Yeah.
Probably more like $1.50 or $1.75.
Gross, not net. Yeah. So, and that's, it is, I always feel like the retail industry is a long game.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's good to, to look at it like that. And because I feel like if you get to the point where, you've got a whole bunch of books and you're like, okay, there's this book, I'm going to make $300 on it. I think you kind of start getting a little lazy, and when you look at every little book, every book you got in here, and there is a potential profit, albeit small, but there's a potential profit on every single one of those that can keep these doors open and keep my family fed and keep me getting here and getting home safely every day. That makes you work harder, I think.
Sure.
Because every book, it's like a pet adoption. Every book has its mate that is meant for it. Howard Jenkins. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to buy everything.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to buy a coverless book for 25 cents.
The better you match that person with what they're going to like, they're going to come back again because they value what you just told them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, I think, when you talk about the secrets, that I think plays into it more than anything. Those things. And also that Comics Journal article just went up yesterday. It's a really good article, and it gave me like a lot of digital ink.
Nice.
But it's like I told them when I opened, I was too dumb to fail.
There you go.
I just came in here and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I knew a little bit about business. I knew a lot about comics. I'm like, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. If all else fails.
How long have you been here?
19 years.
Wow.
19 years.
That's great.
I think.
How long have you been here?
In this store?
About an hour.
Yeah. About 5 years. I've been with Black Cat for about 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, because you didn't get a hold till a couple years into that, but
a couple years. Yeah.
And that's right. Yeah,
because I had my hold with Dave.
Yeah, and you would always come in. You're like, "Can I get a deal?" And I'm like,
and you're like, "Get out of here, you bum!"
God, my God!
I thought we called the cops on you already.
Let's see you backside walking out that door, Baldy. That's what I would say.
But one thing,
ass. What? Sorry.
One thing that makes a store like this really work, though, is that relationship. I've been into a lot of other stores up in the state or whatever, and those game stores that sell comic books, and the Magic the Gathering guys will walk in and they will say hi and they know every one of their names and everything else. And when I walk in and I'm looking at comic books, they're like, "You've been in here 10 times. Who the hell are you?"
Yeah. Here's a good example. Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
See, there you go.
But yeah, you come in here and everybody, it's cheers, man. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
And
if I don't know it, I'll say it wrong. You'll correct me. And then everything should be fine.
Simone Bianchi.
There you go, Simone Bianchi. See, like Bruce, his name's Chris. No, I think that's it, and it's also it's also fun, and I every day I find myself, no matter what kind of headaches I'm getting, with distribution or paperwork or whatever it is, or taxes.
And your job has become harder over the last couple of years.
100%.
Because of you're dealing with a lot more than you were a few years ago.
Yeah. And yeah, it's definitely harder. But you know what? Every day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna work and I'm gonna do this. It is still a job, but it's a job that I feel pretty lucky about.
Yeah.
That I'm not, slinging auto parts at Larry Miller again, which I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
But boy, I made a lot of money there, but I did not like it. Yeah.
That's important. Liking what you do.
I smoked a lot when I worked for them.
I drank a lot.
Oh my God, man.
Whatever I could do to forget.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
those Calgon bass didn't do it for me.
Like, no offense, you guys paid great and everything was good, but I just wasn't my thing. I just going in and sitting at a desk and answering phones and whatever was not my. I was good at it, but it wasn't my thing.
Before. That wasn't me either.
Yeah. All right, so you had the article come out.
Yes, yeah.
Who's the article with?
Comics Journal.
Comics Journal.
Mm-hmm. And this like I was just like, I typed in Comics Journal last night on Google, and like the halfway through the page is just a picture of me in the store, and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of cool.
Nice.
I gotta look at
I've been
really cool profile on our own hometown Black Cat Comics and Comics Journal. So
thank you, Zach.
Go check that out.
What was it about?
Just about the store, just a store profile.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll do retailer profiles every now and again, and he decided to give me a call.
Nice.
So,
you visited a lot more comic shops across the country than I have. I did my thing a couple months ago where we hit every comic shop on I-80 from here to Chicago.
Yeah.
And there were a couple that I would consider pure comic shops. That's all they sell is books, but they are few and far between. And
it's a dying breed.
I think it's really cool that they profile the store.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
So go check that out. And you're taking off to play in the hot tubs for a couple days.
Yeah.
And so if you want to see Bueller skinny dipping in southern Utah.
Yeah, see this week. So like last week I was like just exploring and going to the mountains and stuff like that.
Right.
This week I've been going to comic shops and being more traditional.
Gotta pay the bills.
Next week is all hot springs week, and I'm going like 4 or 5 different hot springs on my way to Moab. Nice. And I'm just going to be doing that. So
there you go. For some of us, it's not called skinny dipping. That's true. Take a little thick dip.
I'll be doing my comic book previews from the hot springs.
Right on.
There you go.
So you do have the previews. And if you shop Black Cat, I know we get a lot of viewers from Utah in here. If you're not subscribed to Travis's channel, it's Comics with Bueller. Every Wednesday, he puts out the video that I share in the Utah Comic Book group that tells us what books are coming out next week. So make sure you don't miss that. And you're hitting a bunch of conventions. You're doing all the Fan Expo stuff. Well, not all, but
yeah. Fan Expo stuff, and then I'll be in Colorado probably in about 2 weeks. Okay. I'll be hitting most of the shops in Colorado because I pretty much can honestly cross off Utah this trip, except for one that the shop is only open like 3 days a week, and I'm not going to go back.
That's Idaho. That one's in Idaho.
No, it's here. Was it? Okay, then I'm good. Utah is off the list.
Anyway,
well, there's one in St. George that you need to hit.
Oh God.
And it's fairly new.
I'll figure something.
And then the one that just opened up in Orem. But they just opened up, and I don't think they have a whole lot of books in there at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of books, this thing is so cool, man.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Whoop on you.
Yeah. That is the beautiful first print hardcover, signed and numbered by Charlie Adler and Robert Kirkman.
Nice.
300 copies of Salt. This is number 242.
That Robert Kirkman is a liar.
Yeah, I know. I don't like variants, says Robert Kirkman.
This book is based on a lie. You know that, right? That's how it got published. He lied to them.
Oh, yeah, the alien stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's aliens, man. Where's the aliens? Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Did you not know this?
I just made
Did you not know this? You're looking,
He goes to pitch the Walking Dead the image, okay? And they're like, no, zombies have been done, it's to death. He's like, no, it's not zombies. They're alien zombies. And they're like, oh, that sounds great. And so they pick it up, and every issue outsells the next issue. And they're like 4 or 5 issues in. They're like, where's the zombies? He's like, I made that up on the spot because I would have said anything to get this picked up.
And that is why an issue, was it 75? Yeah, I think it was 75. That's why Ryan did that backup story with the aliens.
Yeah.
As a joke.
Well, that makes Solid Blood make sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, totally.
That's cool.
So there's that. And then this is it should have been my pick of the week last week. I mean, we had some great stuff last week.
Is that
That's the
bump off?
Great British Bump Off. That is so fun. Man, that's fun. Did you read that?
No, but I saw some of the covers. Like, oh, this sounds interesting.
It's really cool, man. It's it's kind of cartoony. It's John Allison that did Giant Days and Steeple. And if anybody out there watches like any cooking shows or cooking competitions or anything like that, hi Gordon Ramsay. I know he's watching. This is such a great book because it's like if Agatha Christie scripted a cooking show. There's a murder in it. They're trying to figure out who the murderer is, but they're also trying to hide that there's a murder. So they're using like all the conventions for a reality show. They're like, oh yeah, he's hurt and can't cut himself and he can't compete.
Yeah.
They got like a body in the next room. And it is so funny and just really enjoyable. It's really fun.
Nice. What do you got there, buddy?
Maybe I'll pick that up. No, I actually, Beck, the employee here, recommended that one to me. I haven't read it yet. But it
looks really good.
Dark Horse?
All 8 legs.
All 8 legs. Or all 8 eyes.
All 8 eyes, yeah, sorry. Got the crazy legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool looking spider book. Spider. Non-Marvel
Not that
spider. Non-Marvel spider book. And then, of course, we got Making Bacon and Shaking with Howard Chaykin.
He's been kicked out of Canada twice. Not just once, but twice.
That's impressive. Nice. That is really impressive. Yeah. You get kicked out of Canada?
What,
they're so nice.
To get kicked out of Canada.
And the Star Wars books suck, by the way. They absolutely suck. Can I say the SH word on your channel?
No, I don't care.
Shuck?
He really shit the bed when he did those Star Wars books.
Yeah, he got paid pretty well, didn't he?
No, he only got like $1,000. Why do you think he hates him so much?
How much effort are you going to put in for $1,000? I mean, that wasn't a personal question.
In 1977.
He literally brought the world, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and all those people. The first images you ever saw was in the comic book.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the movie. It was in the comic book. Poor Howard. I feel so bad for you. My mom does not say hi.
That's right. And then they wrote that off the script, the original script, not like so that's why, Ben Kenobi's got the Bueller goatee on the covers and everything. And he just looks like he's wearing a bathrobe. Like they don't have the Jedi robes down quite yet. Luke's got that weird mullet thing.
Let me sum up Howard Chaykin really quickly here. Okay?
Yeah.
We spent the weekend with him at the Washington State Summer Con. He was in the booth next to me. And he literally hit on my mom the whole time. And my mom was flattered and stuff. And I like Howard. Don't get me wrong. I'm giving him shit because he deserves it. But I actually do like the guy. Okay? And we talked. I did his panel twice. We talked nonstop for like a whole weekend. A month later, he's at Rose City Comic Con. Okay, the mask mandate is back.
Uh-huh.
And I walk up to his booth, and he looks at me, and you can tell he recognized me and stuff, but I had my mask on.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, take your mask off. So I take my mask off, he goes, how's your mother? Not hello, not nice to see you. The first thing he says, how's your mother?
So you're buying this for him for Father's Day is what you're saying?
No, like I said, I'm buying that, so next time I see him, I can tell him I bought your book in a 25-cent bin. And one of the books you're most famous for, too, by the way.
He'll charge you 50 cents to sign it, probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, man.
All right, so we're way over time again, like we always are.
Sure.
First time that's ever happened. Lucky 40.
I was trying to get the plugs in real quick so we could wrap it up, and then Greg.
That's why the article's so long in Comics Journal. Tell me about yourself.
All right.
And then they were like, well, sun's going down. I got to go.
12 pages later.
I've been off for an hour and a half, Greg. I got to go.
You did mention Washington State SummerCon.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we give a plug out for Washington State SummerCon. You're going to haul your whole Portland comic crew up there.
Yeah, that's in June 23rd to the 26th. It's the con. It's the one that I kind of host. I've been hosting that con for the last 3 or 4 years. And so I do all the interviews and the panels with all the comic book guests. I don't really talk to the celebrities and stuff. But it's a good con. It's
and they've got some good guests lined up so far, and I'm sure
I'm hoping they have more. They don't have as many as they did last year as far as comic book guests. They only had about a dozen. Last year they had about 20, but the dozen that they do have are pretty well known people. Yeah. Steranko is going to be back, and he's always an interesting guy. Marv Wolfman, Mike Grell.
Going old guard there.
Yeah, he does. Nice. He always books legends. That's kind of what he's known for. He likes the older guys that've been around a long time and stuff. So it'll be nice meeting them. So
that's where you got your Neil Adams interview.
No, Neil Adams was at Portland, Rose City.
So is Steranko is still killing spies and stuff like that?
For a 4'11" guy, God, he gets away with it.
He looks like if Robert Evans played James Bond.
I don't think I'll be honest. I don't think I'm going to interview him. He doesn't like to do interviews. He doesn't like to get his picture taken. He doesn't like. I don't even know if he did a panel last time he was there. So whatever I do get from him, it's just extra. So all the other guys shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, even the celebrities, the comic book related celebrities, they have the cast of Smallville is going to be there.
They got Jesse Ventura.
Which is
that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah,
just asking the questions.
Yeah, so I've never met him before.
He's only going to be there for an hour and a half because he doesn't have time to bleed. He's got to get home. No, that's not true.
All right. So a lot of stuff going on with Bueller. Make sure you sub up to his channel. You get the chance. He doesn't care, but the rest of us do. You don't care.
You don't have to. We don't want to. This one doesn't matter.
It's not a mandate.
Make sure to tune in Wednesdays where we, if I can get here on time with construction, we go down the wall and show you all the new books that come out during the week. And then this show drops every Thursday live. Be in the conversation, be in the chat. If you have something you'd like to talk to us about or would like for us to discuss, drop a message. We're happy to hear it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell.
Dingle dongle, fringle frangle, hey.
So you can be notified.
Is that what it
That's
is?
our bell.
I don't know.
So you'll be notified whenever
Bingle
we do one of these.
Yeah.
All right.
Do that.
See you later,
Thanks
traders.
for coming by, bro.
Later. Thanks, guys.
Is that the button?
That's the button.
That might be.
I'm gonna get you.
And
Oh, there's two buttons.